Hello, let's look at this question here also. We are still on when you are given a trigonometric ratio, you are asked to find the value of other trigonometric ratios. Okay, so let's look at number 1. Given that tan x is equal to 1, where the angle is in the first quadrant, evaluate 1 minus sine x over cos x. Take note here, I'm giving tan x as 1. Alright, you know that when you are giving the trigonometric ratio, okay, it should be a fraction. So this is 1. 1 is what? And we only have a whole number here. We can express the whole number as a rational number, where it is over what? Where it is over 1. So my 1 is the same as 1 over 1. So that we turn 1 become the opposite, and then the adjacent also becomes what? 1. 1 over 1 is the same as 1. So tan is opposite over adjacent. So my 1 is opposite, my 1 is what? Adjacent. Okay, so whenever you are given any value, okay, any whole number, okay, the whole number can be expressed as a rational number, then it is over what? Over 1. As I'm giving root 2, it means root 2 over 1. Okay, then you work with that. Is that okay? Okay, so whatever you are given is over 1. And sometimes you can be given in decimal. Let's say I'm giving for maybe sine x is equal to 0.6. It means my sine x is the same as 6 over 10, which is 2 goes here, 3, 2 goes here, 5. Alright, which is the same as 3 over 5. So that if it is sine I'm using, sine is what? Opposite over hypotenuse. So my opposite is 3, my hypotenuse is 5. So it can also be given as like this. Sometimes it can even be given as maybe 2 cos theta equal to 1. Alright, what does it mean? It means that my cos theta, we divide through by 2, will be equal to what? 1 over 2. So that cos is what? Adjacent over hypotenuse. 1 become my adjacent, my hypotenuse become the 2. Alright, so when you are given in this form, know how you express it, so that you can express in a fraction form, and then you are good to go. I believe that is clear. So let's draw a right angle triangle. My angle is x, so x is here. Tan is opposite 1 over adjacent 1. Okay, so what I have to do is to find here, let's say m. So I indicate my angle here to show it is a right angle triangle, opposite over adjacent. So from the diagram, you can see what? M square is equal to 1 square plus 1 square. And m square is equal to what? 1 square is 1 plus 1 square, that will give me 2. So m square will be, m will be equal to square root of 2. Okay, don't write as a decimal. Just maintain like this. So my m here is square root of what? Square root of 2. And I'm supposed to evaluate what? 1 minus sine square x, all divided by cos s. Alright, so I have 1 minus, what is sine? Sine is what? Opposite over hypotenuse. Alright, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So what is my opposite? 1. My hypotenuse is what? The m, root 2. Sine square x means sine x all squared. So I'm going to square all this, all divided by cos s. What is cos s? Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, so that will also be 1 over root 2. My adjacent is 1, hypotenuse is root 2. Then this is what I'm going to have. 1 minus 1 square is 1. Root 2 square is what? Is 2. So root 2 square will give me 2. All divided by 1 over root 2. Let me maintain it like this. Alright. So 1 minus 1 over 2 will give me 1 over 2. Divided by 1 over root 2. Is that okay? So 1 minus 1 over 2 is 1 over 2. Divided by, you can use this sign, 1 over root 2. Then I can write this as what? 1 over 2 times, you reciprocate root 2 over 1. Then 1 times root 2 give me what? root 2. 2 times 1 will give me 2. So my answer is root 2 over 2. So this becomes my answer, root 2 over 2. And since the angle is in the first quadrant, then you have to leave it like this, root 2 over 2. I believe you get it. Okay, so if you get it, let's go to number 2. Okay, so let's look at the number 2. Given sin y is as what? 5 on 13, where y is a general angle from 0 to 360. Find tan y and cos y. Okay, so let's look at the question where the angle is what? The angle is not acute, it's not in the first quadrant. It can be in all the quadrants, okay, 0 to 360. And you are supposed to find. So my sin y is 5 on 13. So you draw your right angle triangle. So my y, sine, opposite, 5. So y is the opposite is here, over 13, hypotenuse. So let me see, here is a. It means that a square plus 5 square is equal to 13 square. A square plus 25. 13 square is what? 169. So a will be equal to 169. A square will be equal to 169 minus 25. And what is 169 minus 25? 144. So my a is square root of 144. And that will give me 12. So square root of 144 is 12. Alright, so we are going to find, we said we should find tan y and then cos y. But let's look here. Sin y, which is 5 on 13, is the angle is between 0 and 3, or from 0 to 360, which means the angle can be in the first quadrant, second, third, or fourth. Okay, we know as our cast. But let's look at the value of the sin y. The sin y is positive. Why is sin positive? Sin is positive in the first quadrant and in the second quadrant. So sin is positive here and positive here. But in the first quadrant, they are all positive. It means that my tan y, because the value of the sin y is positive here, it means if I'm finding the tan y will be in the first quadrant and in the second quadrant where sin is positive. And cos will be the same in the first quadrant and in what? In the second quadrant where sin is positive. So we can say that in the first quadrant, as we know, the tan and the cos, they are all positive in the first quadrant. So my tan y, what is tan? Opposite over adjacent. So opposite is 5. My adjacent is what? My adjacent is 12. And then my cos y, cos is what? Cos is adjacent on hypotenuse. What is my adjacent? 12. My hypotenuse 13. Alright. So in the first quadrant, tan is 5 on 12. In the same first quadrant, cos is what? 12 on 13. Then we come to the second quadrant because the sin y is positive. It means that in the second quadrant too, what will be my tan y? Tan is negative in the second quadrant, so it becomes negative 5 on 12. And what will be cos y? That will also become minus 12 on 13. Alright, so because sin y is positive, the angle, the y, okay, can only be either in the first or the second. But that is where sin is positive. Because so we cannot write the value in the third, neither can we write the value in the fourth quadrant. Because we were given sin y. So it means that we look at only where sin is positive because of 5 over 3 is a positive value. So assuming that we would have been given, let's say, cos, say x is, let's say 5 on 13. And if you are giving cos, we are asked to find the angle is between 0 and 360. Where is cos positive? Cos is positive in the first and the fourth quadrant. So we would have looked at the first and the fourth. Assuming it is tan, we would have looked at the first and what? And the third quadrant. Okay, so take note of that, so that when you get a question and the question is asking you to find, alright, if the angle is between 0 and 360, that is for all the quadrants, you look at and the value that you are giving, look at the value that you are giving. Where if it is positive, look at where the value is positive. Sometimes you can be giving negative. So if you are giving negative, assume that I was giving sign y as negative. I'll look at where sign is negative. Sign is negative in the third and then the fourth quadrant. So I would have written the value in the third and then the fourth quadrant, because that is where sign is what? Sign is negative. Alright, I believe this is understood. Okay, so very simple to solve. So when you are given a question and you are asked that the angle is general angle from 0 to 360, then that is how you are going to solve it. Alright, so I'll see you again in our next lesson. Bye bye.